Hey guys, welcome back to the Next Rank YouTube channel. It's Johnny and Jack, and today we're going to be talking about our top 5 tips to be a better solo queue teammate. We're going to jump into a Jack replay, then we're going to watch a Champ 2 replay, one that we just picked off of ball chasing, and we're going to talk you through our top tips for just being a better teammate in general. This is going to mostly apply to solo queue, but Jack, you're pretty confident that this will work in any Rocket League game partied up as well.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of the tips there, just going to be very general to being a better Rocket League player as well. But the thing is with solo queue, Johnny, is you obviously have a teammate that doesn't know exactly what you're thinking or isn't as used to what you might be thinking. In a party, you might be more used to a teammate that is familiar with your tendencies and stuff like that. So you do have to tailor a couple of things a little bit differently towards that. And for that reason, play a little differently. But most of the things are just going to carry over to just being better for your teammates in general, partied up or solo queue.
Okay, so you're with Nate here, and you're up against Jan, who's just put the ball top bins. Yeah. So this is actually the first tip that we want to talk about. What happened right here is, and it's important to do this in all positions, but it's very obvious here, is you want to play to your teammate's speed. So notice here, Jack takes a mid-air 50. Himself and Jan both land with almost no momentum. Very awkward landing off of this mid-air 50. And now the opponent, Raspy, and also Jack's teammate Nate, they create volatility in the back corner, which is usually what the offense wants.
Yep.
Can be what the defense wants, but in this situation, not what the defense wants. Jack is just limping back to goal here. He's hoping his teammate's going to slow play. Yeah, this just isn't. They're not on the same page here. Now, if Jack was in goal ready to advance, this would be a good 50 mid. But yeah, can we watch that from Nate's POV before we continue on, and you can talk through, what you would have wanted Jack from this position.
Yes.
Obviously, you can base your entire play after this point on what's just happened. Your teammates 50 the ball hard. If you remember that, you can know what it's more likely to happen next time. But right here, let's see what Nate saw in this play.
Yeah, so I would say, again, general tip for all of Rocket League, but especially in solo queue, you want to make it very, very easy for your teammate. And you want to play for their strengths, especially in kind of awkward positions where you're not really in a favored kind of part in the game. So your teammates are on low boost. The ball is moving very slowly. We're floating like this. Okay, so the ball is moving very, very slowly. It's coming towards our net, not with much speed. It's not too threatening right now, which is, it's safe for us, but it's still an awkward position to deal with. We're going to be on low boost. Nate is also on low boost, our teammate here. He sees that we're on about 30 to 40 boosts here, and we're moving back quite slow towards the net. The ball is in our corner. The last thing you want to do is speed the ball up because your teammate is moving slowly, because the play is awkward. It's only going to benefit the team that is more spread out and the team that's on offense here, especially when the ball's in the corner. It's just a mistake to speed it up in general. In this position anyway. So you always want to slow it down. Most of the time you actually want to leave it behind you, but that's a whole nother point. But just get a low 50, keep the ball slow, and that would allow your teammate, which is me in this position, to kind of play. It plays to my strengths. I'm moving slowly, I'll be able to move into the ball, and it's keeping the ball at similar speeds that I'm already at. If you speed it up, it's just simply going to benefit the team that is allowed to move into the position a lot easier. So I would have just liked it to be kind of a 50 behind him, back into the corner. You want to keep the ball in the corner there. But just making it very obvious to your teammate what is going to happen, I think, in that position is the most important thing, Johnny.
Yeah, we'll be looking out for moments where we can take that again. But yeah, we do have, the next one coming up will be pretty related, actually. We'll skip ahead to it. We'll have a moment where it's very obvious. It's coming up in this same replay that we'll watch through. But the second tip we got for this video is, like Jack mentioned, to make your intentions obvious to your teammate. And this obviously is the opposite to what you want to do with your opponents. You want to make your intentions difficult for your opponents to read. But sometimes players can get so hung up on that they make their intentions difficult for their teammate to read.
Yeah.
And we've got a moment here where Jack could turn on this, instead just flips. And obviously we're not in comms here, we're in a solo queue game. So they might not look like much, but that flip can tell your teammate what they should do, and it can make them comfortable advancing. So if we rewind and look at Nate's POV of that moment again at 340 where Jack flips past him. So right here, Nate's thinking, oh, do I go for this? Is Jack turning the well? No, he flipped away. I can now force for Jack here. just 50 it back. He knows exactly where Jack is. And he did a really good job, actually, 50ing it back. So they've conceded earlier in this game by not being on the same page, playing at different speeds. Nate trying to create some volatility, Jack trying to slow the game down. Now in this play, they're on the same page and they're able to read each other. And sometimes it's that car language. It's the comms without comms, where flipping, when your teammate sees you flip, they know, okay, he's going that way. He's committed to that direction. So I can turn here. No danger of a double commit, even if I can't see exactly where they've gone. I know where they are. They're over there somewhere.
Absolutely. It's the same thing here. Nate is telling me that he wants to pass it. If he was on low boost, I mean, one, I'd be able to see it now. Nowadays in Rocket League, you can see your teammates boost. I wonder when I'm going to stop saying that, because it still feels unnatural that I can see my teammates boost. But if he wanted to pass, he'd be facing forward for the pass. If he wants to go back, he'd be telling me by flipping, simply. It sounds stupid. It sounds very simple and something that makes sense, and everyone would think about. But you'd be surprised. Some players don't kind of think about that. Like, you have to think about what your teammate is seeing and what they're going to respond to. They're going to respond to your, like Johnny said, your car language, if you want to call it that. And that allows your teammate to understand clearer what you're going to do. And we do end up getting a goal off of this whole passage of play, which comes from just linking up well as teammates, myself and Nate here. So, yeah, definitely a lot better than the start of the game, Johnny.
Yeah, this is something that you can look to improve on as the game goes on. Some random teammates that you get queued up with are going to really want to slow the game down a lot. They're just going to want to play low 50s. They're going to want to try and bait the opponents in. They're going to try and counter attack, and then other teammates are just going to full send absolutely everything with maximum power. And different players are going to like to play with one. Some other players are going to prefer to play with the other. I know, Jack, you like to play with, or you've told me before, you like to play with just the players who just go and don't hesitate, just hit the ball hard. Like you've talked about TRK and 2v2 in this manner.
That's why he's very good at twos. He makes it easy for his teammate to understand what's going on. And he also makes it very awkward for his opponent. He hits the ball in very awkward positions for his opponent, which allows his teammate to be comfortable. A very, very good play style. I always prefer playing with quick, kind of mechanical, just ball chasey players, because I just think the game is better played that way. And also, it's easy for me to understand what they're going to do. You want to play with teammates that are easy to read. If you know what your teammate is going to do every time, or most times, it's very nice to play with that kind of player. So, yeah, definitely.
The rest of this game, we don't have anything specific timestamp that we want you guys to pay attention to, but we're going to leave it on anyway, because I'm sure you want to see the outcome of this game, Jack against Yan. But one thing that we do want to add, a third tip for you guys while we continue to watch this, is something that won't happen too much at high level and pro play, but it will happen sometimes. However, it will happen a lot at the low ranks, it'll happen a lot at the mid ranks, even up into the low GCs, mid GCs. This will happen every single game. And that's, somebody will whiff the ball, somebody will get a weak hit, somebody will miss hit the ball, and you need to, obviously, like we've talked about, try and read your teammate. Like, understanding what your teammate wants to do is a big part of twos and your success in twos, but you need to also be ready to read their mistakes, or cover their mistakes might be a better word. And it's up to you to judge in the moment how good your teammate is, how comfortable they are, how likely they are to get the touch they want. Like right here, Jack fully trusts Nate to get this touch, goes for the boost, can't get back in time because the touch did set up a shot. Now that's a small margin there. Could have worked out brilliantly if Jack was able to get back just a bit faster. If Nate's touch was more next to the wall, then that would have been a totally safe position. It's not necessarily Nate's fault, not necessarily Jack's fault. That's just a good shot, and that it happens. But if you aren't sure if your teammate has an overhead clear, for example, or an awkward touch in defense, it might be smart to just cover them. Just sit under the ball in case they miss, because they will miss a lot of the time. Definitely. And that's going to be the third tip, is cover your teammates' whiffs, cover their missed touches, but don't do it. If they've got an open center ball, obviously you trust them to hit that. You've got to know what you should trust and what you shouldn't. Yeah.
No, absolutely, especially at lower ranks. When I say low ranks, just anything that isn't SSL, basically, it's going to happen a lot. You have to be aware of your teammate making mistakes, because mistakes are going to happen tons. Even at SSL, in all honesty, mistakes do not stop happening. Johnny, I will say this is kind of a half point that we have. You have to be aware of what your teammate is simply is going to be looking at. It's going to be aware of. Okay, you have to do the common play in most situations. Now, the common play here for me is to just let my teammate cut for me because he's on the ground. Low force is high. It's the most, it's the oldest kind of trick in the book in Rocket League defense. Low force is high. You allow the guy on the ground jump for you and force it to the backboard. Okay, simple as that. There's also a circumstance where I can actually just ceiling challenge Jan here, and who's on the ball here, and sometimes that would be good to catch the opponent off guard, but you also have to think it's going to catch your teammate off guard. If that's if that's not the common challenge that you want to go for, the common challenge is the guy on the ground forces high. If the common challenge is to ceiling challenge, then you do it because your teammate would be expecting that. But in this position, it's not. It could work, but you're also going to be double committing most of the time if you do that. So I decide not to do that. I think about it. I back off once I see my teammate getting that boost and potentially being able to turn. I don't back off once I see him turn. I do it before. I do it when he might be able to turn. Once he might be able to turn, okay, that's enough for me. Because even if he goes and I decide a second too late, we're going to double commit. It's not going to be good. So you really have to be aware of what your teammate is actually looking at on their screen. You got to think that most of the time they're going to have ball cam on. So what are they going to be seeing? If the ball is above their head like that, they're not going to even see that you're ceiling challenging, okay? Because they're focused on the ball, right? You have to think about that when you're playing.
That's going to be, very tied into what you said earlier, this second one. It's the obvious, make your intentions obvious to your teammate. That can be applied to even when you're not on the screen. It's right there. You don't want to confuse your teammate by flying over their head when they would expect you to be back because that's where they last saw you. Yeah, nice play at the end here. That's a totally valid play. The taking the ball, just being a Chad and taking the ball from your teammate. In this, the super high ranks, very normal. Everybody will have, you're less likely to have a teammate with an ego here who's like, no, it's my ball. I'm closer. Get away from me. And obviously, Jack has more boost here, more momentum, far more ability to score. So he identifies that actually he's going to be able to score here a high percentage of the time. So he wants to take the ball. His teammate on low boost won't have the same opportunity to do so. But be careful doing this early in a game. If you are in a position similar to this, high boost, your teammate's got low boost, and it's maybe early in the game, first minute, game is within a goal, it's close. You probably don't want to do this because while you could score, a lot of you I know are confident in your ground game. I think I'm pretty confident in my ground game, and I like to take the ball in defense and dribble if I can. But I would probably not do this early in the games. My teammate might just think that you're an idiot. They've not seen you play yet. The game has just started. You've not maybe shown them that you can flick the ball or dribble the ball with any kind of success. So if you go and take the ball and then you do mess it up, now your teammate not only thinks that you're an idiot, but they think you've got no mechanics and they've just lost all faith in you winning the game. So it's one that you probably want to save until later in the game, like Jack did here. 2 seconds ago, gets the winning goal.
I don't know why I didn't slow this ball down enough. I clearly thought that someone was somehow challenging behind me already. So
did you think it was 0 maybe? It looked like you were trying to carry it.
So I was trying to slow it down to 0 seconds, right? To just kill the game, like to not let a kickoff happen. But then I just got scared, I think, and I was like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. I just need to get the ball in at least. But
what have you missed, to be fair?
Exactly. We get the win, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, we're going to watch a Champ 2 replay now, get something a little bit different. We're from the POV of 2 solo queue teammates. We're watching, we're on GW Teal. Yeah, Teal 99, who's gone for the boost, gone for a demo, and then been clipped on. But his teammates saw in him, they're randomly queued into a party, which will happen a lot. And I love that one of them is just called Ooh Look Ball, and he's got the chalk tag on. Shout out to that guy. But yeah, Shark Bite and Ooh Look Ball. We'll see. Sometimes when you run into a party in twos, one of the parties way better than the other one. Sometimes they're roughly the same. If one of them is way better than the other one, you can kind of prey on that weak player. But that doesn't happen too often. Usually they're kind of similar in skill. So you just have to beat them fair and square. But yeah, we'll be honest. We have watched this replay. I know we've been doing a lot of random reviews in this channel to look at the gameplay and see what we see. This one, however, we have watched because we wanted to make sure it was relevant to the topic of this video.
They're
one thing
playing well.
we noticed that, yeah, Saul is a beast at corner passes. He's just done one in defense, just done one in offense. This isn't a tip of ours for this video, but I do love corner passes where you can hit the ball into a corner wall. And he did it twice there. One in defense, one in offense. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. I wanted to show this replay in particular. Like Johnny said, we have looked at this. These guys seriously play really well together off the 50s, especially the guy that we're watching right now. Sol is very creative. He's getting a lot of the passes. He's getting back passes off the corner, passes and offense off the corner. But the guy that we're watching right now, he's playing off of his teammates' 50s extremely well. And I want you guys to pay attention to that. It's not too... He's not doing it too aggressively where he could be kind of taking out the play. This is a really nice play by, it's going to be a goal because of it. I don't know why I'm saying that like I didn't know it was going to be a goal. Like I said, we've already seen this replay, but it was a really nice play. Yeah. I will say the one thing, Johnny, that I'm not a fan of as they're about to score off of this. The one thing I'm not a fan of slightly is the corner boost grabs off the kickoffs. Really nice pass by Sol, making it really obvious for what he's going to try and do for his team there. But yeah, we're going for the corner boost on every kickoff instead of cheating. I don't know. Let us know what you guys think in the comments about that, because I know a lot of you will enjoy doing that because your teammates' kickoffs may not be the best sometimes. I would just say it's a skill to be able to learn how to cheat on a kickoff at a very high level, even on bad kickoffs from your teammates. It's a skill to be able to recover it and still turn it into a good outcome. And I think that is important to do. So I always recommend doing that in solo queue as well, even if your teammates' kickoffs aren't the strongest. But this guy just barrels the whole way through, Johnny. I'm a big fan of how these guys are playing together. We saw one double commit there. Actually, we didn't see it, but we heard it. A small double commit there about 30 seconds ago. But because we're just simply closer to the ball, it doesn't really matter. And we're just trying to get a hard clear anyway. So as long as the ball goes out, double commit not too bad. This guy, again, making it very obvious that he's going for the ball, taking a wide loop away from it. So his teammate knows that he's about to turn into it. It's really, really smart. And it's just good level all around so far.
Yes, and it's all related to the main one that we keep coming back to is making your play obvious to your teammate. This is a big thing for solo queue.
Oh, no.
Now here we get in a bit of trouble. So we said there's no double commit. But yeah, specifically here, I want to like, if we're going to put this in a group of what went wrong here. Obviously, there's a double commit where we're both out of the game. But I'm going to say that the problem happens here because we didn't give our teammates space. And if Saul wanted to pass the ball, he'd hit the ball harder the last touch, or there would be a clear gap between his car and the ball, and we would need to close the gap and be on the exact same place of the pitch as their teammate. And this can happen in the air, can happen on the ground. But yeah, obviously in the air, if your teammate's aerialing in twos and you aerial, that's incredibly risky. But the more global thing that's happened is we've just not given our teammates space. So we don't know if our teammate's going to get another touch. Yeah. Because we're going for a touch at the same time as they are. The defense could just wait for this to happen and then get a free ball. Yeah.
Sol completely chose the play. Like we're not like kind of we're not just kind of glossing over that fact.
Yeah, they've both done this, yes, but they've both made the same mistake, I guess.
I would say this can be a goal, by the way. If we hit this ball, especially if we get a double tap, it can be a goal. But the amount of times I remember being lower ranked, my teammate comes off the wall with an air dribble and I try and go for it. At some point, I remember, I'm not just saying this for you, but I genuinely remember setting a rule for myself that I would just I would just never go for a ball that is taken off the wall if my teammate's air dribbling. I would just simply never go for it, because the amount of times that your teammate messes up the air dribble like this and then tries to recover it, like a very high level player would know in this position, once the ball goes behind you, you've messed up your play, you just leave it, right? You just leave it. You maybe try and go down to the ground to get a 50, or you try and bump the last guy, but you don't try and go for the ball again. That's what Sol's trying to do here, and that's the mistake. The other mistake is just going for that ball and not recognizing that can happen. Every player in this rank is going to do that because it's a natural progression of rugby. Once you mess up,
everybody
it's
does
natural.
It, yeah.
I'm not saying that Sol made a huge error there. It's a mistake, but it's not a thing that I wouldn't expect at this level, because you should, it's just natural to try and correct your mistakes after making them. So you have to be aware that your teammate is going to do that just like you are, and therefore just give them that space. They've messed up. Just give them the space to carry on, and then you collect the ball after. You're not going to score off it, but it's just going to be more high percentage play, and that's going to get you higher rank in the long run. Look at this guy, bro. Fake off
slow play.
slows play down. It's lovely. Passes over to the space. His teammate makes it really obvious. He actually scores off this, by the way. His teammate makes it really obvious that the space is here to be taken, and he knows that his teammate can pass this. But he's also heading back to net in case he gets dunked there, just slightly. And then he turns forward once he sees the pass. He's not just, completely turned forward straight away. He's half and half, which I like. So this is really good from both players here.
Yeah, that was like the covering the miss potential, or it doesn't have to be a miss or a whiff. It could just be an unintended outcome. Sometimes like that, like Jack said, teammates going for a hit and they get dunked on, and it goes into the corner, it goes into the back wall. And if you've already turned up field, then you're not going to make it back as fast as actually right here there is no opponent in nearby. He's at the halfway line, but sometimes the opponent's ready mid. He's just waiting for the 50 mid, and you have to cut that off.
Yeah, if he was facing forward here, it'd be a little too aggressive. Because he's facing back, but he's in the position where the pass could go to. It's nice, it's a nice in-between. And we're not saying that if he gets dunked in his net, he's going to be back for this. He's just not. But at that point, it's just a bad 50. It's not it wouldn't be his fault kind of thing. So he's covering the bad outcomes, like Johnny said, the backboard kind of 50, where it bounced off backboard, the corner, where it goes into the other corner, but he's also covering the pass. So I want to show that because it is covering a little bit of everything. And in solo queue, or just in Rocket League in general, like I said, Johnny, earlier in this video, all these tips, just kind of relate to being better at Rocket League in general. It is important, but especially in solo queue when you're not quite sure of what your teammates kind of level or what they typically do on the pitches.
Well, funnily enough, we don't like the going for the boost every time because the other team just get the ball for free. But another corner will pass, by the way, just quietly. Brilliant. Love that. But yeah, the cheat before this got them immediately scored on as well. I feel like you're at a disadvantage when you're at the kickoff in particular. When you run into a partied up team, they're probably calming. They have the kickoff strat.
I mean, these guys are doing a lot of back corner kickoffs, if you've noticed. Yeah,
they've done back corner. Yeah. They also just got a standard kickoff on a goal all of a sudden. So you don't really know what they're going to be doing. So sometimes if you're not sure how to synergize with your teammate on the kickoff, this is just a little bonus tip for you guys. Just try and take away whatever strategy the other team are trying to do. If you see one of them going back corner, you know that they're likely going to try and get the ball towards that player. So just do everything in your power to not have that happen. Just go more on the other side of the ball to stop it from going in that direction. Don't hit it into them. And if they've done a lot of close cheats, done a lot of dead ball kickoffs, stop hitting the ball in the middle. Just like get it off to the side somewhere. Just get it safe for now, so that you're not giving the other team what they want. Speaking of giving them what they want here, now we did learn something from earlier. We're giving our teammate space when he jumps off the wall.
Yeah, so and by the way, he made an insane play. I don't know if you saw this, but there is a mistake that comes up here. Look at Sol. He musties this ball into a flip reset.
He flip cancelled into a reset.
And then he tried to do it again, but he does get blocked. It was really nice. Yeah, flip cancel in there as well to make sure he gets the reset. Okay, in this position, I think a general rule that I regularly set for myself when I was kind of going through the ranks in twos and stuff. When my teammate is taking out the play, most of the time you want to try and slow the play down as much as possible to buy them time to get back. Most of you watching this video would have heard that a million times. Whether you do it every time or not is the tough part, right? Of course, there is a small percent in Rocket League where at times you should try and kind of do something that catches the opponents off guard. Okay, so most of the time you should buy your teammate time here and just fake challenges, stuff like that. Sometimes you can rush challenge. I think we picked the wrong time here. The ball is in the air. A lot of the time in this rank, it means the opponent's going to have ball cam on. They're probably going to have to go for this ball quickly in case you go. I would just fake challenge 90% of the time here in this position because our teammate is so far out of the play. That's what I'm trying to say. Just buy your teammate time. Because if you concede here, I know this isn't the mindset that maybe a lot of you think you should have, but it's the mindset I have. If you concede there, it's not your fault. It's your teammate's fault for giving up the play. He made a good play and it was almost nice, but he still got dunked into a 2v1. All right, so in the end, it wasn't a great play by your teammate. If you concede there, really not your fault. You should just try and buy your time for it to be a favorable position in the end. I think the challenge is a little risky, but I do understand it at the same time, trying to catch the opponent's off guard. So yeah, it's finding that balance, I guess, which is the tough part. And unfortunately, I don't think I can help with that. But yeah, try and buy your teammates time.
Yeah, and that could be off of so many different things. And two's another one that happens a lot. So, well, the obvious one we just saw, your teammates completely out the game in offense, and you're in defense 1v2. That happens a lot to everyone in twos. Yeah. Because your teammate, you have to commit at some point. But the other one that's really common is if you're in offense and you or your teammate get demoed, the other team now have the ball, a lot of players will make the mistake of like just challenging at the earliest possible moment when their teammate hasn't even respawned yet. And if the ball isn't clear, if it's not just a free ball, you're just, you know, maybe you're getting it past one, but they have two, so their second player is just gonna take it for free a lot of the time. So really, like Jack mentioned in the previous play, if it's not a totally free ball or you don't think you can surprise the other team by going, then you're not really gaining much by sending the challenge.
Yeah.
You're just giving yourself a chance to concede, which is never a good thing. But okay, we're into overtime here. Let's briefly summarize while we watch this. We had play to your teammate's speed. That's going to help you a lot.
Especially
Make
in
your
defense,
play
by the way,
obvious.
especially in defense.
Yeah, in defense, or when your teammate's low boost, or you know, in awkward positions. Yeah, we're super out of the game here. And Sol does a great job not taking himself out of the game. The other team outplay themselves. So that's related to the last one. Yeah, okay, so we've got play to your teammate's speed. Make it obvious to your teammate what you're doing. Be ready to cover your teammate's awkward positions / whiffs / weak touches. But you know, you have to decide. You just have to know when to use that one and when it's actually better to just go, because you think your teammate's going to be totally fine in the position. Yeah, nice shot here with the wall shot for the win. We had number 4, give your teammates space, and last one there, don't overcommit if your teammates out the game. Don't just full send it if your teammates out the game. You want to just give them time to get back into the game. And if you guys do all that, you're going to be an easy teammate to play with. I'm sure you can all remember when you queue up and you're just like, wow, this teammate was great. Like, they didn't score 3 or 4 solo goals, but we just dominated. They were super easy to play with. It felt like I just know what's happening all the time. Well, that could be you. You could be that teammate to other players if you follow all these tips. You're not going to confuse your teammate. And, you know, on the flip side, I'm sure you can understand, Jack, when your teammate's just confusing you. It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Oh, yeah, no, it happens even nowadays. I mean, maybe even more so because, without sounding like too big of an ego, but there is a kind of a big disparity in pros and, you know, kind of ranked players that you get in like understanding, I guess, in twos and stuff. So it happens even more so at high level, and that's just something that you're going to have to get used to and actually not get frustrated at. I think another tip that I'm going to throw in there is just not get tilted at your teammate. Don't quick chat them and stuff like that, because I remember going through the ranks, and if my teammate was being toxic to me, am I ever going to play better when my teammate's being toxic to me? I mean, maybe like 0.1% of players will level up when their teammate is being toxic to them. I think the high majority, and even me, I don't think I would have leveled it if my teammate's being toxic to me. I'd probably think that they think I'm terrible and play worse. You know, it's not...
Jack, if somebody forfeited, like, you know, if you go down by 1 with like, I don't know, 10 seconds left, and then your teammate votes forfeit, maybe you messed up.
I'm petty, dude.
And then, if you... do you wait to score and then you forfeit? So
I've done that a couple times in ranked.
I've done that so many times.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times in ranked.
Get the equalizer vote forfeit. So, I mean, that's the clearest example of you playing worse, or in this case, even intentionally playing worse, because your teammate was toxic, or because your teammate, you know, watched a replay of you missing, voted forfeit when it's clearly a winnable game. And you're just like, okay, now stop you then. You want to lose? Sure, we'll lose. I don't want you to win. My desire for you to lose is now bigger than my desire to win for myself.
Dude, I remember doing that. Like, especially when I would like be close to being pro or even pro, and I do it to players. I do it to like high level players, dude. And if they just really tilted me, like, just don't care. Just like, and that is so funny. That's honestly one of the like greatest things in Rocket League if you can do that. You know, the like second best thing is they forfeit, right? You're 1-0 down, let's say, or 2-1 down with not much time left. They forfeit. You score, tie it up, you score again, then you throw out the forfeit just to kind of like...
you forfeit.
And if they don't, then... you know, they're just a pussy, so it's like, well, what, you know. Right.
Oh my days.
We're gonna leave
so true,
there.
though. I agree. I'm totally with you on that. So yeah, hopefully that little addition at the end there, the bonus tip, helps you guys as well. But yeah, let us know in the comments what kind of success you've been having with these tips. We truly want you guys to be the best teammates out there, who are just everybody wants to queue up with you, party up with you, and that way you're just gonna get people to play with. You won't have to solo queue anymore. You can actually just team queue with the people you like playing with.
Oh yeah, last half tip. This 5 tip videos turned into a 12 tip video.
There's like 10 of them or something.
Yeah, last half tip is if you find a teammate in solo queue that you play well with, add them. I remember doing this. I've met some of the some pro players nowadays that have turned into pro players at similar times as me. I've met them through ranked solo queue, and I would have partied up with them. I remember playing lots of games with Atomic, Spanish Atomic, lots of games with TRK, lots of games with Jorius from, you know...
What about Redosin?
Yeah, I don't think I ever partied up with Radisson from what I remember, but I played him a lot in Champ 1. But, like, if you see good players, team with them and party up with them, if you can, if you play well together. It's the best way to meet new people that are similar level to you, and you improve very quickly from that. So, yeah, do it. Definitely do it.
Alright, if I see a good player, I'll let you know, but...
Yeah, you don't see many, do you?
8 years on, still waiting. Maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah. Alright, perfect. Well, Johnny, I think that is everything that I personally have. You don't have anything else? Perfect. This is a 12-tip video, like we said, and a 5-tip video. Guys, if you did get something out of this video, let us know in the comments. Let us know the one tip that you think you'll do the best out of. We want to hear the best one that you have, and if you have any other tips that we forgot about, leave them in the comments. Help each other out, help us out, learn what you guys think about. It's always appreciated. Check out the course at thenextrank.com, and yeah, check out all of our other videos. Drop a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.